Greetings. Hopefully, people can hear me. Let's see. Put my email address. Address. Email address, Cash App. That is PayPal is and Shalom. Hi, welcome, Jasmine. You're the first one in the room. Can you hear me okay? Can you put one if you can hear me okay? I'm gonna start doing more lives because I haven't been really doing many lives, but I said I'm gonna start doing lives just in case people have questions. Can you hear me okay? I'm good. Can you hear me okay? Is my volume good? Okay, good. I'm doing well. I wanted to do this video because I wanted to talk about how I quit my welcome. Thank you, Jasmine. I wanted to talk about how I quit my corporate job in 2020 and I moved to Africa. So that's kind of what this live was about. Just wanted to tell you how when I made that decision to leave, I was over here actually when I quit my job because I was still working when I first came over here, and then I'm thinking to move into Tanzania and really want to connect and meet people. Okay, Yasmin. Well, you are welcome. Karibu Sanas, welcome. You are very welcome to Tanzania. There are a good amount of us here, but a lot of us are not online. But there is a nice community here. So if you do, you won't be alone. There are a lot of families here, a lot of single people here, just everybody. So you definitely won't be alone if you decide to come through. If you decide that this is where you want to be. A lot of us are here. I know a lot of people. I can connect you with different people and different, they're in different groups. I think they have like a mother's group. They have a women's group. I'm not in any groups. I'm just not a grouping person. So, but I know a lot of people, and I can get you connected if that's something that you want to be, grouping with other people, doing things in groups and all that. But there are a lot of us here, and any day of the week, if you go to the mall or if you go to the grocery store, you're going to see somebody from the West, whether it's from America, the UK, Jamaica, Canada. Like, it's diaspora, African of descent. They are everywhere here. Yeah, they're coming here. Yeah, yep. They have a mother's group, and I know someone that can, tell you who can connect you to them. The schools they have here are, for your kids, it will be an international school, and all you have to do is Google international schools in Dar es Salaam. That's all as far as that's concerned. International schools, because the local schools, they don't speak English. I don't think they teach them English until, like, I guess when they get a little older, maybe in college, maybe in high school or college. But a lot of the elementary schools, and I don't think they teach them English. So a lot of the people that live here, they take their kids to international schools or stuff like that. So, but you can actually Google online international schools in Dar es Salaam, and also, like I said, you can be connected to some mothers, women with children, and they can give you more of their personal experience of schools. And then also we have a Uhuru Community Center. It's a lot of the diaspora take their kids there, and it's a couple from the U.S. and it's like a community center. So they do the different activities. They play the sports, do the little art, and you know how a recreation center would do. That's what they do also. So some people take their kids there too. So it's a good environment to raise kids in, and I can tell you that it's really good, safe environment. Everybody loves kids here. Locals love kids. Africans, for that matter, they love children. So you don't have to worry about people getting like annoyed with kids. No, they love children. If anything, you're gonna have to be like, I don't let people touch my children, you know, because everybody wanted to like shake their hand and say hi and all that stuff. So, but yeah, it's a good country to raise children in. But I'm going to get started in a little bit and drink some of this tea because it's late here. It's 12 o'clock p.m. Actually, 12 o'clock a.m. It's 12 o'clock a.m. here. And I decided to stay up because I was awake anyway. I was wide awake and decided to stay up and do a live because this is during the time where most of the people in the U.S. are up and about. And so I have to, if I want to do a live and reach the majority of my audience, it has to be later. And even people that come here from the West, come here from the US and they want to work online, their hours of work is usually like 6 p.m. to like 3 or 4 in the morning, something like that, because of the hours difference here. I think it's like an 8-hour difference, 7 or 8-hour difference. So yeah, the time right now here is 12:06 a.m. So I decided to make me some tea. I'm like, you know, keep me, you know, going. Which I'm not sleepy, but it is later here. It's later here. So, and sorry about the glare. Oh, let's see. The glare right there because it's my the light back there. And so yeah, it's the light back there. I'm trying not to give you too much of the glare. Usually I try to do like the videos or the lives with the natural sunlight so you won't have like different glares. So hopefully it'll be okay. But hi, Justina, welcome. Yep, the time right now is 12:06 a.m. So yes, this is live. Yes, I'm live. I'm live. Decided to do a live spontaneous. I did put a message in my community tab saying I'm going to do a live in like 2 hours. Normally I'm sleeping, but I'm awake today and I wanted to like chat just in case people have questions. And I said I was going to do more lives, so more interactive. But I wanted to talk about how I quit my job, my corporate job, and I moved to Africa. So actually, I quit the job when I was already here. So when I came here, I was on a vacation from work. I was like on a 2-week vacation. And when I got here, I realized, yeah, this is where I need to be, and I'm not going back. I was planning on not going back, but I just didn't tell anybody because I was moving kind of like in silence. I didn't want to tell a lot of people because I knew people would try to talk me out of it. So I did not tell a lot of people. So when I came and I realized, yes, this is the country that I want to, you know, relocate to, live in. I love this country. I love the vibe. And so that's when I called my job after the 2 weeks was up. I called my job and told them that I actually told them that I was not going to be able to come back in 2 weeks because of COVID. COVID was going on, but you do know that Tanzania was open. So I could have gone back, but I was like, yeah, I can't get back. So they ended up giving me like a sabbatical. So I had like a 6-month sabbatical, something like that. I had like a 6-month sabbatical. And then after that, I called them back. I was trying to get more time. And after 6 months, they was like, no, you have to come back. Either you come back, you quit, we fire you, whatever. So I was like, well, I quit. So at that point, I did quit my job. And I was making pretty decent money. I was making about $45,000 a year. It was pretty good, you know, for just, I have a son and he was college age. So he did go to like 3 different colleges and then decided at the last minute that it wasn't for him after the third college, So, but so yeah, I came and I called them and told them I quit. And just so happened I had a 401k that I was, through work, I was saving 401k, saving money. And then once I quit, they asked me, I didn't even actually remember it. I didn't even remember it. And they asked me, they said, do you want to roll it over or do you want a payout? And I was like, a payout. And because COVID was going on, they allowed me to do that because normally the only way they'll let you have a payout is if you like buying a house or something like that. But because of COVID, they actually let me go ahead and get a payout. I didn't have to roll it over into another bank. And so I was able to get my money. It was like 20,000. I was able to get that. So that actually helped. That wasn't something that I anticipated, that I didn't count that money because I didn't even realize that that would be an option. That I really was just walking by faith. I had a little saved. I think I had like, when I came over here, I think I might have had maybe almost $2,000, something like that. But I was still working. So I was still going to get the 2 week, the paycheck for 2 weeks. And then when I went on sabbatical, I started getting 60%. So they cut my paycheck down to 60%. So just all that money I was getting, I was just saving it. And it's not as expensive to live over here, to rent and stuff like that. It's not as expensive as it is in the West. So you can save a little bit more money, especially if you have income coming in. If you have an online job or if you have a business or streams of income, some kind of way, real estate properties, whatever, you can live a lot less here. So I was able to get that money and I was able to go ahead and create a business, a company for myself, and sustain myself with savings. And as I was doing the business, it's a consultation business, just like a lot of people, but I actually made it a physical company here in the country. That means that I can do more things. So I can sell products out of my office. I could, besides just consultations, I can do other things, boots on the ground. I can sell other things and do other services here in the country because it's a local business, a local company. So that's kind of what's been sustaining me. I want to say I ran out of money in 22. I think I ran out of that money in 22, the beginning of 2022. When I say I ran out of money, I ran out of my savings. So even though I was doing consultations, I had that little bit coming in and I had saving, other stuff. Then I had a 2-bedroom apartment and I started renting that out just to, bring in income. So it's different ways that I just was working on trying to bring in income. I always had like an extra room. So I could always like rent that room out it was mainly for people coming from the West and they wanted to visit or wanted to relocate, but they needed like a soft landing. So I was using the room as something like that. And I would charge like a certain amount a month, which was cheaper than what the hotel would charge. Because a lot of hotels, they charge, I think like $1,000 a month or something like that. I was charging like the first person I was charging like $300 a month, the second person $400 a month. And they had their own room, their own bathroom, because I've always had like a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. So they had their own room, own bathroom, and we just shared the living room and the kitchen. So it was like kind of like a bed and breakfast. So I was doing that to make money. So I would charge what my rent is. So my rent at one point was like $300 a month. So I would charge that. And then I started charging $400 a month, which includes some of the utilities. So it's like a lot of my rent was covered in this fee that I was charging for rental. So that's another way that helped me to be able to, sustain myself. And so you just think of different ways that you could, especially if you run out of money. If you run out of money, like a lot of people, what they do is they go back to the US, right? They run out of money, they go back. For me, it was not an option. It wasn't an option to go back to, do that. So I just had to figure out how to make things work for me here. I had to figure it out. So I was able to figure it out, and I've been here ever since. This year in July, it'll be 5 years that I've been here. So that's kind of what I've been doing. Also, helping people to, um, visit or relocate or do business, because the way business is done here is different from in America or in the West. So people need advice. Yeah, you could get an attorney, but it's good if you have somebody that has a business already and they can explain it to you how it operates. Like me, I will do that when I do my business consultations. I explain how business operates here, and then I can refer them to my attorney who registered my company, and then he can register theirs. So not only just take them and just send them to the attorney and they don't know anything. I kind of explain to them how the business operates here. The local has to have this number of shares. You have this amount. You're able to do this, this, and this as the director or as one of the owners. And I just go through all the details. And how I learned that is because I created the business. When I created my business, the attorney explained everything to me, walked me through the steps, let me see the document, showed me, how things operate. Because I was asking in the process, as he was registering everything, I was just asking step by step, what do I do now? How does this work? So I got a lot of information when I was getting my own business registered. So I just used the information that I got and things that I learned, and I just share it with other people who are in the West and they're interested in coming to Tanzania and they want to stay, long term. They want to do business or whatever, relocate. Then I share with them the information, the specific details of how business operates, the best way to go about it, especially if you want to lease land. Now, in Tanzania, foreigners can't own land, but they can lease land. You can lease land as an investor, which is something that, I want to do. There are some here that are already doing it. The only thing is you have to create a company first. So you have to create your company first, and then under your company, which is your company has a tax ID number. Under your company, that's where you purchase the land, and it's attached to your business. So here in Tanzania, they honor business investment. They don't really respect and honor you as an individual per se, as a foreigner per se. They honor and they look at companies, businesses that you registered. So if something were to happen with me and anybody else, it would be my business against this person. It wouldn't be me individually. So that's kind of how they have things set up here. Countries are different. Different countries operate differently. It's different in Kenya. Um, it's different in Kenya. But a lot of people, when they come here, even if they decide to go to Kenya, sometimes they want to do business too. Even though the only people that really come and they don't really care too much about business is like the retirees. So if you are like retired and you just want to come here just to live your retirement years, then a lot of them, those type of people, they don't want to do business. They just want to retire. So you can get a retirement permit here. You can get one in Kenya. You can get one in different places. The only thing about Tanzania is they don't have citizenship. That's not an option right now. So that could be a con in trying to relocate or repatriate here. They don't have citizenship, but they have a residency permit that you can renew every 2 years. So they do have that. So that is an option. Now, for me, it's okay with me because I love this country. So maybe if I didn't come visit, and maybe if I didn't have the opportunity to live here and be around, I probably would be like, nah, because they don't have an option for citizenship. But after being here, visiting and living and doing all this, I love it. So it's like, yeah, residency permit is fine. Um, and maybe someday, you never know, there may be an opportunity for, maybe they might change their mind. Maybe they'll allow dual citizenship. I don't know. So In the meantime, we just have to follow the laws, guidelines, and immigration laws that are set up for the country. So, but yeah, that's kind of where I've been and what I've been doing. As you can see, we have regular houses, we have regular things here, just like in the West, just like in America. We have washing machines and running water and electricity and air and all that stuff. But the more conveniences that you require, the more expensive your rent is going to be. So you can actually get a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment for like $200 a month, which is something like what I pay. I pay around that amount. I got a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. And but I'm outside the city, maybe 20 minutes, maybe 15, 20 minutes outside of the city. So I can go into the city if I want to, but for the most part, I'm outside the city. And the further outside the city that you go, the less expensive that your rent will be. There are people that have 2 bedrooms for like $175. They can get 3 bed. It's the further you go away from the city, the less your rent would be. So that's an option if you want to pay as least as possible. But there are some people that they want the conveniences. So they want to live in the city especially when they first get here and they don't know the language. So they want to live closer to like the big cities, like in the city of Dar es Salaam. So in the city areas, it is more expensive. So your rent could be $600. It could be $800. So yeah, when you live closer to the cities, closer to like the conveniences, it could be more. They put this fan closer to me. So yeah, that's kind of how it works here. But it's, for the most part, it's a beautiful country. It's very peaceful. The locals are very friendly. Their temperament is really nice. Like, they're quiet. They don't bother you. They don't like be up, like, they just have a real laid back temperament. Not that you can trust everyone you meet. Don't let the niceness fool you. Just don't let the niceness fool you, because you still have to vet people. You still have to use discernment on who you deal with, who you work with, who you do business with, who you let in your house, who you trust, whose food you eat. You still have to do your due diligence and vetting people for different services. If you want dresses made, or if you want your hair done, or if you want people to cook for you or clean for you, or stuff like that, you have to do your due diligence and get to know them a little bit, or watch them very closely, because it's whenever you come to a country where it's like a high poverty level, then you'll have some theft. So you just have to be mindful of that, because when you come here and you have your accent and you speak in English, and sometimes automatically people see you as like you're rich, you're a money bank, you're made of money. Yeah, so you have to be mindful of that. Yeah, because sometimes you're an opportunity. Rockabye baby, good evening. Welcome in the live. Welcome in. So you do have to be mindful. Don't forget, fam, like, share, and subscribe, or like, comment, and subscribe, thumbs up. But yeah, just have to be mindful of like the people that you let in your inner circle, in your house, touching on your stuff, around all your stuff, because you got to remember, because of the poverty level and everything, you have a lot more than what a lot of people have. We have a lot more of things that a lot of people don't have. Like, say for instance, my first place I lived in, I was the only one. It was a four apartment, fourplex, right? I was the only one with a washing machine, and I was the only one with a stove, and I was the only one with a fridge. I was the only one with a washing machine, a stove, and a refrigerator. See, those three things is what we're used to in the West. And so when I got my place, I furnished it myself. So I made sure I got a washing machine, a stove, and a fridge. They don't, every apartment is, first of all, the apartments here are empty. When it's unfurnished, that means it's like a shell. It's nothing in there. So you have to buy everything. No stove, washing machine, refrigerator, nothing. You got to buy everything. So I was the only one in that building that I lived in with all those things, because a lot of the people that lived in there, they had, they lived there, was like middle class, and they had helpers. So they had like ladies, we call them sisters or dadas. They wash their clothes, cook their food, and all that stuff. So they didn't need a washing machine because they pay somebody to hand wash their clothes. Now for me, I knew I wasn't going to get that. I'm used to doing my own stuff. So I knew I was going to wash my own stuff. So I needed a washing machine. They cook outside a lot. They have like the little mini grills that they cook on outside. So Rockabye Baby, no, I'm not. I did, but that fell apart. And I have a backup channel called Starting Over at 50 Life in Africa. On that channel, I talk more personal about my personal relationships and experience and that did not work, Rockabye Baby. That didn't work. So no, I'm not. But I had a washing machine, and I had a stove, and I had a refrigerator, and the other people didn't have that because they cook every day, so they don't need a refrigerator. Everything is fresh food every day, so they don't really need a refrigerator. And cooking, as far as they have the grills that you cook up with outside, because it's hot here in Dar. It's very hot. That's why I keep removing my glasses and wiping my face. It's hot. Even at night, it's hot. So they cook outside most of the time. They don't cook indoors. So they didn't need a stove inside. So these are things that we're used to. So we have to make sure that we have these things, because that's what we're accustomed to. But besides that, I quit my job, and I was nervous when I quit my job. I was like, I'm really quitting my job. But I knew that I was going to stay here, and I knew I was not going back. And I knew that with the money that I got from the 401k, I was going to use that to create a business and get things set up for me, which is what I did. So actually, before I ran out of money, I did go ahead and get everything set up. So when you get a business set up, you do have to pay your yearly taxes. But that's, not as much. You pay your yearly taxes. Well, it's based on like what you're selling. Your taxes are based on like the business that you have or what you're selling. So it's definitely not as much as it would be in America. So thank you, Justina. Thank you. So what else? So if you are wanting and desiring to leave the West, and you're kind of nervous, and you're like, I want to, but this is my safety net, living in the West is like your safety net. And I get it, because I felt like that. But when you come out of America and you live somewhere else and it's so much cheaper, you're like, I'm staying here. Like, because it's so much less to live here, and the food is so much cheaper, and it's a lot less. You can actually survive here, with the income that I do generate from my business, which is not a lot. It's a small business. Consultations, everybody's doing that. I do other things. Also, I sell little I have merchandise I sell. I got cups, keychains, and I got an online store, and it's different things I'm adding to it, but it's not a whole lot, right? It's a little bit, but because it's not that expensive here, I can actually manage here. I cannot, I mean, I was thinking if I was back in the States and I actually got laid off my job, I could have got laid off my job. And then what would I have done? Because my job was my safety net, and it's happening to a lot of people. So considering the fact that, I'm not working, and I'm still being able to afford to live here, it's a blessing. It's a blessing, and it's possible. Um, I am not like retirement Social Security age. Hopefully that'll still be an option when I get that age. I think I got another over 10 years to go to get to that age to get that money, but it may not even still be available the way that they're talking about getting rid of Social Security. So that's not something, I mean, if it's there, then yeah, but if not, I mean, I still have to try to figure out how to maintain even without that. So I was hoping that YouTube would help contribute to my income, but they keep denying me monetization on this channel. I'm thinking maybe a shadow ban based on, what I've been talking about since 2020, because I was like pushing big time that lie. I was speaking against the lie in 2020 that happened. And so I feel like they are punishing me from that because they pulled down a lot of the older videos back from 2020. And they just I felt like they was just like going through my videos, just pulling them down. And so ever since then, I think I've tried to get monetized. I've tried to get monetized like 3 or 4 times, and they keep telling me, no, my content is harmful. So I've gone through all my videos and I'm like, harmful, like what are they talking about? And then I started realizing it was back in 2020. The ones they were pulling down was back in 2020 when I was talking about the, jab and all that stuff. And Magafuli, y'all know he was against that. And so I was over here at that time and I was standing with him, I'm like, yeah, he right. Y'all, they lying, So yeah, I think that they are punishing me for that. But that's the only thing that I see, because, I don't use profanity. I don't encourage violence, and I don't promote like wicked stuff. So how is it harmful? Yes, I'm blessed by the best. Yes, I am. So I'm still, like I said, I'm still going to do my videos and my lives and everything as long as I got the channel. I get a lot of clients through this channel. I connect with a lot of people through this channel. So even if I'm not monetized, I still get my clients through this channel, and I'm still making money. So it's still good for me. So I'm not falling apart about it. It'll just be in additional monies. I do accept donations. I got Cash App, I got PayPal, and I put all my information in the chat if anybody want to bless me. And also I put my email address in the chat. So if you want to reach out to me, if you have any questions for me, I answer general questions for you. Now, I don't get too specific about like business because I charge a consultation fee and I give a lot of details about the business part of it. And it's a lot of stuff, y'all, that I can't share online. It's a lot of stuff that I can talk to you about, but you understand that, as a foreigner, you in another country. So it's like a way that you have to conduct yourself in terms of, what you share and how you say things and all that stuff. People are watching, people are listening. So you have to, be mindful of that. So for me, how I am able to get the information that people need to them is when they do consultations with me, then that's more private. It's more personal. Then I can give them more of the tea. How people say that we do videos and we only share the good stuff. We don't share the bad stuff. Well, you also have to consider that you are a guest, you are a foreigner in these specific countries, even though we originate from Africa and our ancestors, forefathers were stolen from Africa, but we're still considered like foreigners. So we have to keep that in mind, and how we talk about the country that you're in or the continent, for especially on the African continent, because the West already have such a negative um, perspective about Africa. They're always trying to push a negative narrative about us, Black Americans, and Africa. And so try not to be another negative voice. I do videos though about experiences that I have. Like if you look back through my videos, I did a video about how I was robbed, and I did a video about that. So when things happen to me that are not good, I do share those things because I feel like people need to know how can they can avoid what happened to me by doing this, or don't do that, whatever. So I do share those things. Sound like that's okay. You said West Africa. Okay, Rockabye Baby says West Africa seems to be plagued by electric blackouts. It doesn't sound like that's an issue. It's not bad here with the lights out. At one point, though, I think it was when it seems like it was right when Magufuli had passed away, and the new president came in. It seemed like right after that we was having like a really bad blackouts, lights out, but it worked its way out, and now it's really good. Like I say, I haven't. It's like I can't even remember the last time we had lights out, and it's funny because now that I'm saying this, if these lights go out, y'all, it's gonna be crazy. So, but it's pretty decent over here, and then we have things set up to where you can manage. So if the power goes out, I have this. Right? So my power goes out. If I'm sitting here, right, and my power goes out, I'll turn this on. See this? It's my speaker, but it has a light on it. And then it can do this. It can go down, and then it can have the SOS thing. Yep. So just get you like some kind of flashlight, and this is actually a speaker. So, and I usually keep it in the living room by me. So if the electricity goes out at night and I'm doing something, I could just grab it. You also have your phone. You can just turn your flashlight on. And for me, I have candles. I have just the white candles. I can light those. So it's manageable. It's things that you can do if the power goes out. Now, if it goes out during the day, it's during the day. You can leave. You can go, walking. You can go to a cafe. You can go to the fruit stand. You can go shopping, basically, because all around where I live, it's a lot of different fruit stands. So you can take that time. Let me just go shopping. Let me go get some fruit, vegetables, tomatoes, onions, whatever you might need. So the lights out is more manageable because it's things that we set aside that we can do if the electricity goes out. So the electricity goes out during the day. My computer's, off. My phone I can still use because I got internet in the house and I have internet on the phone. So I can still use the phone and go on the internet if I want to. But since the power is out, I don't want to drain my battery. So I'm not going to be like just on the phone if the electricity is out, because I don't know how long the electricity is going to be out. You can get you a battery pack. Y'all know these. You can keep keep it charged. So, power goes out, charge your devices with this. This one has the 2 USB. So it's ways around it. It's ways like, of course, you can get a little generator. If you have a little generator, then power goes out and your generator kicks in. So it's different things that you can do. Rockabye Baby said it's a big difference between 200 and 800. I would feel intimidated by the language. No, you don't have to feel intimidated by the language barrier because they're very friendly. And they say the same thing. So if you go into the city of Dar es Salaam and you go to the airport, most of the people at the airport speak English. Most of the people in the around the peninsula where most of us go, they speak English. So the only time they don't really speak English is if you move outside of that area. All around the peninsula is like where the water is. So most of the international areas are around the peninsula, which is where most of us are. But as we learn Kiswahili, you can move further and further inland, like where I live or where a lot of us move, because we've been here. We know the main. So all you have to learn is like the main greetings, the food that you like, and the morning, afternoon, evening, directions, straight, right, and left. Basic stuff you learn, and then even if you don't learn it, you can have like a translate app on your phone. That's what I use even now. I have like Google Translate. So see, oops, let me show you. I have Google Translate on my phone, and I use it all the time. It's right there. I don't know if you can see it. Okay, it's right there. Where'd it go? Oh, I covered it. Okay. Anyway, it's called Google Translate. You get that on your phone, and if you want to ask something, you just put it in English and it converts it to Swahili for you. And so you can either show it to them or you can push the little button and it'll read it. The computer will speak it for you. So it's workable. You don't have to be intimidated. The 200, like I said, is for you being outside the city. That means that you're around more locals. The 800 is closer in the city. And the reason it's that high, it wasn't that high when I first got here in 2020, but it's 800 now because, or six, between 6 and 8, or sometimes even more than that, 1,000. I've heard rents of 1,500. Like, I'm like, it's no way in the world. It's no way in the world I'm paying that kind of rent here. That's a U.S. rent. But because so many of us are coming here and they know the value of our USD since we've been coming, they're starting to try to charge USD for certain things now. So you just have to know. Do I put Rockabye Baby asked me, do I put vacation packages together for people? No, I don't do that. I'm not a travel agent type person, but I would recommend that you just book you don't have to do that. I didn't do that when I came. Nobody did that for me. I booked my own flight. That's the largest fee. That's the most expensive fee, is booking your flight. You book your flight from the US to here. I always recommend people to use Qatar because that's what I use. I use Qatar Airways when I came, and everybody that I consult with, I tell them use Qatar. Qatar is like Doha in the Middle East. So it's in the Middle East, right up there at the top of Africa. So from Qatar to Tanzania, it's like 5 hours. So you'll have to get a flight from like JFK, Dallas, Chicago to Doha, which is Qatar. Qatar is Doha. That's the Middle East. And then you take that one and come down to Tanzania. They don't have no direct flights here. So you can do that. And when I say Qatar, nobody have no discrimination because they're Middle Eastern. They don't do no discrimination to Black people. They treat you nice. They treat you respectful. They got a sleep room. So if you got a long layover, a lot of people have long layovers in Doha. Like 7 hours, something like that. They got a sleep room, and I heard it's nice. I didn't go in there, but a lot of my clients, they used it, especially if they're elderly, and they got a sleep room. They even a couple of my clients, they wheeled around in a wheelchair. If they have any like issues with health, they wheel them around in a wheelchair. But I've heard no problems with them. So you can do Kenyan Airways, you can do Ethiopian. I'm not down with any U.S. Airlines not coming here. No Delta, no United, no American, none of them. They're the ones having the problems with the flights crashing. I just tell people stay away from them because they got stuff going on right now. But no, I don't put power bank. I don't put. Hey Wilson Jean, welcome to the chat. I don't put vacation packages together, but to save you money, that's not really necessary. Rockabye Baby, vacation package is not necessary. They overcharge people, is what, based on the prices I see. I'm like, yeah, you could have did that for like half the price. The main cost is going to be your flight. Once you come here, if you can even book your reservations for your hotel or your Airbnb now. All that all that's online now. You can book that online. And so And I can actually, when people consult with me, I tell them where to stay. I tell them what area is good for like foreigners. Well, people who just coming from the West. And I know you're used to certain conveniences. So I tell you to stay in places where I know they got generators. They're gonna have constant electricity. They got hot water. They have a washing machine. They don't have a washing machine, but they have people to wash your clothes. They have a restaurant. They have food because your language barrier. So I want to make sure that you're in a place where you can order food and people understand you. You stay in a place where there's water, there's lights, and stuff like that. So I usually recommend those things. But and there are a lot of places here you don't need somebody to do packages for you because they're gonna overcharge you. Um, so you get your flight, then you come here. I usually can tell people where to stay. Stay at this hotel, that's nice. This hotel is nice. And how I find out is I have a lot of clients that, or people that I know here. It's a lot of Americans here, y'all. It's a lot. A lot of them are not online, but it's a lot of us here. And they stay in different places and they'll say, oh, this place was nice. So if a client contacts me, I'll tell them to stay at this place or that place, this place, they got room service. The food is good and they serve you fresh fruit, vegetables, or whatever. So yeah, I can usually give you that advice. And when you come here, I can tell you places that you can visit. Now, the thing that I don't really recommend people to do, they have to do that on their own, is those safaris.